Welcome home, America. You've been gone long enough. My name is Andy, and this is my wife, Jen, and we are so glad you're here on, I think, our fourth webinar for S'mores and Stripes.
Too many, but not enough.
Too many, but not enough, right? Now, before we get in too far, tonight is about something so much bigger than curriculum. It's about coming home to faith, coming home to family, coming home to identity and the heritage our children deserve to inherit. We believe America is at a turning point. We believe that American families are at a turning point. Families all over the nation are stepping out of the old and corrupt educational systems, reclaiming their calling and choosing a better way to raise and educate their children. Tonight, you're stepping into a movement of families who are rebuilding America one household at a time. So, from our family to yours, welcome home. Now, before we talk about curriculum or micro schools or the logistics tonight, I want to begin in the right order. So the same order we use with our students and our families: identity, roots, and calling. So the world teaches children to start with performance. Road School starts with identity. Who God says you are. From identity, we recover our roots, our heritage, our family story, the virtues that shaped America, and the faith that shapes our children. And when children know their identity and their roots, their calling becomes clearer. So before anything else tonight, I want to ground us with a short devotional reading from, let me get it, it's right here. Hang on. Short devotional reading from the Book of American Virtues. Jen and I have been working on this book for a long time, but I'll explain it in a little bit. But just a moment to set our hearts in the right place and to remember why we are here: to rebuild families, to restore virtue, and to raise a generation who knows who they are and whose they are. Quick introduction. Jen and I worked on this book. We've been working on it for a little while. It is the 250 heroes outlined in the National Garden. As many of you know, we've been collecting descendant stories from the 250 heroes outlined in the National Garden of American Heroes. Some of them are the impetus for the book, but what the Book of American Virtues is exactly that. 13 virtues that established our nation, that our children will need in order for their next generation to establish 250 more years of heroes. And so I'm just going to flip open to one here, one that I like.
There's too many good ones. It's easy to just slide open and be like, oh, look, I found one.
Exactly. So how's Audie Murphy with Grit?
Sounds amazing.
This one's a good one. I spent a little while writing this one, but we really, really like it. So here we go. Flames roared from the tank destroyer. Ammunition inside popped like fireworks. Shells cooking off with every blast. Smoke stung the air. The field outside I could never get this name right. The field outside Holtzwer, France, was crawling with German soldiers. An entire company pushing forward, tanks grinding through the snow. And on top of that burning wreck, a 19-year-old farm kid from Texas stood alone. Audie Murphy. He swung the 50 caliber machine gun into place, gritted his teeth, and squeezed the trigger. The gun thundered, tracers streaking across the snow. Germans dropped. The rest dove for cover. The ground shook with returned fire. Bullets tore through his uniform. Shrapnel ripped into his leg. Flames licked at the hull beneath him. He kept firing. Reload, fire again. Reload, fire again. For nearly an hour. Murphy held the line by himself. An entire company couldn't break him. He radioed artillery fire while blasting away, mowing down wave after wave, refusing to quit. Behind him, his men watched in awe as their commander turned a suicide stand into salvation. When it was over, the snow was littered with fallen enemy soldiers. Tanks pulled back. The attack had been stopped. Murphy, bleeding and exhausted, finally climbed down, his body broken, but his will unshaken. Later he said, almost casually, I figured out they were killing my friends and I had to do something about it. That's grit. Not bravado, not fearlessness, just the stubborn courage to stand when everyone else would run. Grit isn't waiting for an easy fight. It's climbing on top of the burning tank, taking the weights of the battle and refusing to let go. Audie Murphy showed America that grit is what turns the impossible into victory. Psalms 18 verse 2. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. There's some reflection questions here. I'm going to let you go through those with your family. There's even a road trip location
Suggestion.
Road trip suggestion. Yep, in Greenville, Texas, down the street from us. So we're really excited about that. Devotional is a really important part of our homeschool curriculum. But the great thing about devotional books is you can kind of get them on their own. So the America 250 S'mores and Stripes curriculum is more than a program. So our curriculum is the catalog. It's more than a program. It's a place to build families. It's a place to pass on virtue, character, excellence, identity, and divinity. It is the home education supplemental companion to the America Begins at Home Under God library. The library consists of, where are you at? America Begins at Home, the wife and mother God calls for this hour, the father and husband God calls for this hour, Iron and Oak, Fathers Under God, the America 250, the Book of American Virtues, etc. So you can find that online. We'll probably put some links in the description that will show where you can get the books. But the America Begins at Home, the S'mores and Stripes curriculum, is about building families. So it's more than just curriculum. Okay, it's a program. It's the home educational supplemental companion to the America Begins at Home library, created for young parents who want more than worksheets, deadlines, and the chaos of culture that lost its way. You're here because you're searching for something deeper. Steadiness, grounded education, and a way to teach your children that feels like home again. Here, history becomes heritage, learning becomes legacy, and the subjects you explore become the roads you travel together, revealing the providential hand of God through every chapter of America's story, calling on His mercy as your children grow in knowledge, skill, character, and courage. As your family studies these 250 heroes, you won't just read about virtue, you'll live it. Each subject is taught through the lives of men and women who embodied it. Mark Twain brings literature to life through wonder, imagination, and storytelling. Thomas Edison sparks mathematics through curiosity, inventions, and perseverance. Neil Armstrong opens the heavens through science, courage, and exploration. Every lesson leads your children back to the truth that greatness runs in families, that God weaves purpose through generations, inherited, discovered, and passed down. Through devotionals, as we've just done, hands-on projects, journaling, and road school adventures, your home becomes the workshop of faith and freedom. You'll trace your lineage through Let me slow that part down. You'll trace your lineage through American heroes, rediscovering the goodness God has placed in your family's story and the purpose He's writing in theirs, developing wisdom, discipline, discernment, and the habits of excellence that shape a life. Because when families learn together, they aren't just studying America's past, they are rebuilding her future. One virtue, one child, one family, one subject, 1 mile at a time. So welcome home, America. You've been gone long enough. America's story is more than dates, names, and events. It's the unfolding of God's providence through the lives of men and women who shaped our nation. Every field of study reveals His hand at work. Somebody else has to do these podcasts. I get too tongue twisted. Every hero carries a lesson in courage, conviction, creativity, or care. A virtue that became the strength of their soul, and an excellence that became the work of their hands. This curriculum is built on the belief that God is the source of all truth and prosperity. When families and nations align with His word, they flourish, and when they turn away, they falter. By studying the people, places, and principles that define America, students learn not only history, but heritage. They discover how God's blessings and the choice of those before us have created the freedoms and prosperity we enjoy today. Here, identity is formed. Here, children learn that they are part of a story bigger than themselves, a family story, a national story, a providential story shaped by the Lord of all ages. To help young families see education through a deeper, God-anchored lens, this curriculum organizes every lesson into 10 great callings. Now, we recognize these as the beginning of the journey. Each calling reveals how virtue becomes excellence and how excellence becomes impact. Providence teaches students to see God's guidance in history, His blessings, His corrections, and His purpose unfolding through generations. The other 9 callings show how virtue becomes excellence in every field of human work. Discernment in story, integrity in judgment, clarity in communication, proficiency in craft, divinity in expression, wonder with wisdom, faithfulness in doctrine and care, dominion with prudence, discipline in body and habit, and wisdom in restoration. The fruits of excellence that shaped the accomplishments of the heroes your children will study. As students study these callings, they begin to recognize not just what they enjoy, but what they are called to. How their God-given talents can be shaped into purpose, service, and greatness. They learn that every achievement is rooted in practiced virtue, and that every legacy begins with an identity grounded in God. Each calling connects directly to familiar school subjects: history, civics, literature, STEM, arts, geography, ministry, military studies, athletics, and health. But each subject also leads to something far greater: the formation of a people capable of excellence, a people under God. That was a long slide. Here we go.
This is the fun part, though. This is where it starts to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, it does, right. So what is Roadschool? We are S'mores and Stripes, Roadschool America. Buckle up, everybody. Roadschool America is the heartbeat of the American 250 Providential Curriculum. It is learning with your hands, your feet, your eyes, your heart, not only through books, but through the journey of discovery itself. It's where families step out of the classroom and into God's creation, America's heritage, and the lives of our heroes. In this curriculum, road schooling is more than a field trip. It is a way of weaving every subject, history, science, literature, civics, art, and faith, into experiences that children will never forget. Road school is where the providence of God is seen not just on the page, but in the land itself. Imagine your family standing at Plymouth Rock reading from William Brewster's journal and then writing your own family covenant. That is road school. Picture studying geology while hiking the Grand Canyon, then opening to Psalms 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of His hands. That's road school. Walk through Philadelphia's Independence Hall, then gather your children under the Liberty Bell to copy Micah 6, verse 8 into their notebooks. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. That's road school. From the Shenandoah Valley to Mount Rushmore, from the Alamo to the Statue of Liberty, this curriculum will point you to the landmarks, landscapes, and legacies that turn lessons into encounters. Each road school activity has been crafted to anchor knowledge and memory and inspire children to see God's providence in the shaping of our nation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really quick note here. The travel part. We actually there's a lot of different packages you can get with our American Road School curriculum. Traveling locally, seeing what you see locally, or seeing what you see across our nation. There is everything available to you, in whether it's in your backyard or it's in your small town or it's across the nation. You're gonna love it, I promise.
Well, and there are hidden gems everywhere. You don't really notice it until sometimes it's like when you buy a car of a certain color, right? You're like, oh, I got a white car. Nobody has white cars. And then you start seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Once you start opening your eyes to these little gems, you'll be like, I see it.
Yes, exactly. So we design our road school experiences based on your location, your family, and what you want to do, how much you want to invest in it. So we work with you along the way. So here we go. The S'mores and Stripes Providential Curriculum is a Turning Point Education Association school built on the 5 C's: Christian, conservative, classical, collaborative, and cost affordable, and strengthened with 3 needed values for this hour: MAGA forward, biblically structured families, and train them up. So we'll talk about some more of those in a little bit, but we don't treat education like a system to manage. We treat it like a heritage to preserve and a faith to live, forming disciples who love God, truth, and country through parents, pastors, and professors in the living room setting of the kitchen table, classroom, and campfire. Powered by Drive, divinely rooted in identity, virtue, and excellence. Drive, S'mores and Stripes. You get it. And we deliver it with real-world structure, complete curriculum, teacher training, parent onboarding, and plug-and-play systems that make excellence doable for families. Jen and I put a lot into this, and we're so proud and excited to share it with you. So before we go any further tonight, I want to give you something that almost no homeschool or academy program gives families upfront: clarity. So as a Turning Point Education Association school, we are a 5C school. We are Christian, conservative, classical, collaborative, and cost affordable. And that last C, now, like I said, we add three to it: MAGA forward, biblically structured families, and train them up. But that last C is important because part of our mission is to be transparent, simple, and cost affordable for families. So no surprises. We believe that clear costs equals family freedom. So instead of waiting to the end, we're going to start tonight with your pricing path. This is usually usually the moment when families go, oh, okay, I know exactly what lane I fit in here. I know exactly where we're going. And so, like I said, I'll tell you a little bit about it in a second, but as we're talking about monuments and travel and all that other stuff, this is how they work. So there are 3 core paths, and all of them lead to the same quality, the same curriculum, and the same quality road school experiences. Really, the only difference here is how much support your family wants and how much time and customization you want us to put into your experiences. So to walk through them quickly, there are premium families. These are families with privacy, protection considerations, so privacy needs, protection considerations, or those wanting an extended custom road school trips. This is a fully tailored experience for the on-the-go family. The next is the foundation families. These are the families who say, we get it, we're ready, just give me the curriculum, give me the guidance, and give me the teacher support. This is your all-in turnkey experience, one package, one price, lots of support from us. Then there's the prime families. Now, this is actually most of our families, and this is where you as a family, you want control, you want clarity, you want to build your own package from clear, transparent line items. You decide what fits your budget, what fits your season. You decide what fits your family makeup. So and all of these are fantastic. We've built them across the board for all of them. So as soon as you see your family land in one of these 3, you can begin to start filling out your order form if you're joining us live, or you can email me right away. You can email me at s'moresandstripes@gmail.com. That's probably just the one that's the most common, is easiest to do. We're gonna go through. So just take a moment and look at the 3 pillars. Find yourself, and let's go. Okay. So first of all, why heroes matter. So you've heard me talk a little bit about the 250 national heroes outlined in the National Guard of American Heroes. We're going to get into that in a minute. But why heroes matter? Ye are the light of the world, as the Savior said. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Heroes matter because they make virtue visible and excellence believable. So the 250 American heroes come from a moment when our nation chose remembrance over erasure. So on July 3rd, 2020, President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order 13934, establishing the National Guard of American Heroes, a permanent tribute to the men and women whose faith, courage, sacrifice, and excellence shaped the United States. It was not a political gesture, it was a moral one. At a time when statues were being torn down and history rewritten, the order declared that a free people have a responsibility to honor those who made freedom possible. The garden was envisioned as an open-air classroom where Americans could walk among the examples of virtue and be reminded that liberty is sustained by character. On January 2021, the list was finalized to include 250 individuals spanning every sphere of American life. Founders and framers, pioneers and patriots, inventors and explorers, artists, educators, healers, builders, soldiers, and servants of God. These were not chosen for fame alone, but for faithfulness, for lives that turned conviction into action. Though the physical garden was paused by the Biden administration, the vision was never lost. And in 2025, as America entered her 250th year, that call to remembrance was reignited. Because the monuments may wait, but the meaning cannot. We teach the 250 not as relics of the past, but as roadmaps for the future. They remind our children that greatness is not accidental, liberty is not free, and faith must be lived to be preserved. These heroes come from our history, but their purpose is our future. Children can memorize definitions of honor, courage, or perseverance, but until they see those virtues embodied in real lives, they remain abstract. Heroes give flesh to words. They show that excellence is not an accident, a title, or privilege reserved for elites. It is a way of living, a discipline of faithfulness, and a stewardship before God. America's heroes prove that greatness is forged in every sphere of life. Washington showed dominion with prudence. Longfellow showed clarity with truth. Revere showed excellence in craft. Tubman showed courage, anchored in faith. Lewis and Clark showed wonder guided by wisdom, and Clara Barton showed compassion with discernment. So most of the 250 heroes were not presidents or generals. They were farmers, mothers, teachers, craftsmen, preachers, inventors, and explorers. They showed our children that their calling matters, and that faithfulness in small places shape nations. We study heroes because liberty cannot survive without virtue, and prosperity cannot endure without excellence. When virtue fades, freedom collapses. When excellence erodes, culture decays. Heroes preserve the memory of what must never be lost. We do not honor heroes as museum relics. We honor them as seeds. Heroes reproduce heroes. Virtue inspires virtue. Excellence multiplies excellence. When children learn these stories, they inherit more than a history. They inherit responsibility. Therefore, since we are surrounded by, this is in Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witness, let us run with endurance the race set before us. We look back so we can move forward. We preserve these heroes so that, by God's grace, we might raise 250 more, and through them, raise a nation of builders, torchbearers, and servants, worthy of liberty, faithful to truth, and courageous enough to carry America forward. Oh, do you want to do this one?
I totally can.
Excellent. You're up.
So why do families need to lead? Why is it that families are important? So in Deuteronomy 6 through 7, I'm sure you're very familiar with this one because it's a very common one to remember, especially in homeschool. So teach them diligently when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise. America will not be restored by better institutions alone, because God's design has always flowed through households. The home is the first school, the first church, and the first government. Long before a child ever enters a classroom, he is formed at a table by what his parents believe, practice, and pass on. That is why the providential curriculum is built on a simple truth. The classroom supports, but the family leads. The church itself was born in a home. Before Pentecost, the disciples gathered in the upper room of a household, praying, waiting, aligned in faith. It was not a cathedral. It was not a temple. It was a family space. And in that room, the Holy Spirit descended, launching the church into the world. The Last Supper. You guys remember this one? The moment Christ instituted communion. It also took place in a furnished room of a home. The breaking of bread, the sharing of the cup, and the transfer of covenant authority all happened at a table. From the beginning, the table was the pulpit. The home was the sanctuary, and families were the carriers of faith. This is the biblical principle and American order of education. Parents first, then pastors, then professors. Parents form faith, discipline, and virtue at the hearth. Pastors strengthen that formation through doctrine and discipleship. And professors then expand that knowledge and sharpen skill for service in the wider world. When this order is honored, nations will flourish, and when it is reversed, nations fracture. America was built the same way. The Pilgrims came as families. The Mayflower Compact was signed by households. The very matrix of liberty at Plymouth still stands as a witness. Faith as the cornerstone, producing morality, law, and education. And only then, liberty. The home is the forge. When a family signs a covenant, when a child copies a speech, when siblings reenact a midnight ride, when the father blesses his children with the words of Joshua, heroes are being raised in real time. God makes families. Families make nations. And families make America. Again and again. Your family history is American history. Because America is not an abstract idea. She is the courage that crossed the ocean, the faith that built churches and schools, the sacrifice that tilled the soil and defended freedom. And all of it lives on through families. Your family history is not separate from America's story. It is woven directly into it. The lives, prayers, failures, faith, and perseverance, both will work. Perseverance of those who came before you. From a divine legacy, you are called to steward and extend. God is the source of prosperity. Virtue shapes character, and excellence is the fruit of both. Identity drives virtue, virtue drives calling, and calling drives excellence. Drives.
We use that a lot.
we weave it into everything. So this is the American curriculum, rooted in American heroes, American heritage, American virtues, and the American pursuit of excellence. The same grit that settled the frontier, the same devotion that knelt in prayer at Valley Forge with General Washington, the same ingenuity that built railroads, wrote hymns, and raised flags on distant shores. All of it runs through your veins. This is why our curriculum begins with heritage. You are part of that great tapestry of God's providence woven throughout this nation. When you discover your ancestors, you do not simply find names and dates. You find identity. Stories of faith, hardship, obedience, and triumph. You begin to see that you are not here by chance. God has been faithful to your family from the beginning, and he will be faithful still. Deuteronomy 7, verse 9. Know, therefore, that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, who keeps covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. We haven't quite reached that yet, but we're getting there. As students move through the great callings, all 10 callings that we have, they do so grounded in the knowledge that they come from generations who lived with purpose, courage, and virtue, producing the excellence that shaped America. Identity becomes the foundation for calling. Every course begins with a pause, not to rush into achievements in inventions, battles, or books, but to ask a deeper question. How am I connected to this story? Sometimes the connection is through bloodline. Sometimes it's through virtue, calling, or shared heritage. But every lesson begins with that identity, because knowing who you come from clarifies what you are called to become. When a student connects with their family's story to a hero's virtue, they gain more than relatability, they gain direction. And when they see those heroes practicing excellence through discernment, integrity, clarity, proficiency, wonder, faithfulness, discipline, dominion, and wisdom, they no longer see distant legends. They see a standard, a challenge, a frontier waiting for them.
That's a good one.
I love that. You can tell I'm passionate about it.
So, identity before occupation. Calling before career. So most programs ask your children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Road School asks a deeper question. Who did God make you to be? And what calling flows from that identity? We live in a world where all sorts of things are replacing our skills, are replacing who we are, why humans are like what we're supposed to do, etc. Our program is associated, first of all, to a child's and a student and a child of God's identity. When identity comes first, excellence flows naturally. Every child is born with God-given gifts that point toward a calling, a direction in which purpose fuels mastery and virtue becomes durable. Road School calls these the 10 great callings. They're a beginning point. They're only a beginning point. These are 10 ways that God most often expresses destiny or otherwise calling in the lives of his people. In our providence section, children are drawn to faith, meaning, and God's hand in history. Patriots, protectors of justice, truth, and liberty. Civics, lawyers, judges. Some are writers or artists, shaping the world with words and beauty. Some are builders and explorers. In builders, this is where we find our STEM program. But if you noticed, families, this way. Which way am I pointing? That way. STEM is only that big, right? It's only as big as builders are, okay? Explorers, always making testing and discovery. Shepherds, marked by compassion and care for others. Warriors, resilient, courageous, and steady under pressure. Athletes, born with movement, discipline, and strength in their bones. Healers, drawn to life, restoration, and service. Each calling reveals a different face of excellence, discernment, integrity, clarity, craftsmanship, beauty, wisdom, faithfulness, courage, discipline, and restoration. When families train children into the direction of their calling, excellence is no longer forced. It becomes natural, because purpose produces perseverance. This is why road school isn't just curriculum. It is already planted inside of your children. So excellence is already there. One second. So this next one is one second. Let me see if I can catch you up there. I gotta click on the buttons.
I broke it.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's my fault.
We got it. There you go.
I was getting button happy.
It's okay. Ephesians 5:15 through 16. Look carefully how you walk, making the best use of time, because the days are evil. The stakes are high. Nations rise and fall on the character of their people. Rome lost its virtue long before it lost its empire, and America will be no different if we delay forming the next generation in honor, courage, discipline, and devotion. The 250 heroes stand as both warnings and witness. Their lives show what becomes possible when virtue governs and what collapses when it does not. When we wait, failure spreads across every calling. When discernment is lost, history is rewritten and identity erased. When integrity weakens, law becomes selective and citizenship hollow. When clarity dies, words are weaponized and confusion rules. When craftsmanship fades, systems fail and excellence collapses. When beauty is abandoned, culture glorifies chaos instead of truth. And when wonder shrivels, curiosity becomes exploitation. When faithfulness falters, doctrine dissolves and souls drift. And when prudence disappears, strength turns to aggression or apathy. When discipline dissolves, appetites rule and grit dies. When wisdom is lost, healing and restoration becomes an industry, not a calling. I hope these have rung true, or these warnings have rung in your mind about what happens across all of our different industries. And we've seen that a lot of prudence has disappeared, and wisdom in restoration and healing have been lost through our medical systems, etc., etc. When we wait, excellence erodes. When we wait, virtue fades. And when we wait, culture captures our children faster than we can respond. We cannot wait for culture to teach our children. Culture has abandoned truth and rejected God. We cannot outsource hero-making to institutions that have surrendered to ideology already. The responsibility is ours. As families under God, we must preserve these stories, practice these virtues, and cultivate excellence now, so we can raise the next generation of builders, defenders, healers, shepherds, pioneers, and leaders worthy of the nation they will inherit. Okay, so Colossians. This is about... I'm going to continue on this one. I like this one. Can I have this one?
Sure, but I will make mention of one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole reason why we can't wait, I mean, why else are you here, right? Something spoke to you. Something over the past decade or longer has caused you to be frustrated. Something's not right. Mm-hmm. And something's burning inside, and you're like, no, something's got to change. So why can't we wait? Because if we don't make that change, it won't happen. The problems are going to get bigger.
There are 50,000 people every year joining the homeschool family, becoming homeschool families. 2 to 4, and that's in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's
right?
like after Christmas, right?
Yeah, like after Christmas or after the school has begun, in the middle of the school semesters.
Right.
50,000 families are abandoning their school systems, and this transcends public school, but private schools alike. They're abandoning those corrupt systems, and I use corrupt in a strong and purposefully, because oftentimes families find themselves, a lot of families that we interact with, customers and students and all sorts of people, they find that they leave the public school to go to a private school that sounds good, But the private school just hires teachers that are just as woke as everybody else was. And so they're like, well, what now? So the educational system itself is corrupt. And that's why we've designed this educational system around identity, virtue, and excellence. So we are divinely rooted in identity, virtue, and excellence across across making the next generation, not just creating, helping our kids to know facts and figures and helping them to be, entertainment hogs and all that stuff. Education is not entertainment. Education is enlightenment, and we want our children to be more and more in love with being enlightened. Rather than just being educated. So across the nation, more and more families are becoming homeschool families in the middle of the season.
Exactly.
Simply because
they can't wait any longer.
Right. Exactly. Simply because they find the same corrupted systems from one to the next.
Right.
And we stand, and our Roadschool America curriculum, S'mores and Stripes, Roadschool America stands as one that is uncorrupted and pure, and stands right in the center of creating a new generation of heroes again and again.
And we hope that it gives you the same kind of freedom that it gives us. Really, the true freedom that you need to raise your kids the way you want them to be raised.
A way that feels like home again.
Yeah.
Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So what is excellence? If virtue is the root, excellence is the fruit. America's heroes did not settle for mediocrity.
Nope.
They pursued their callings with diligence, skill, and courage, not to glorify themselves, but to honor God with the work of their hands. Excellence was never about ego or achievement. It was about stewardship. Excellence begins with identity. Every child is made in the image of a perfect God. God does not create mediocrity. He creates with purpose. Excellence is already placed within them. To choose excellence is not arrogance. It is agreement with whom God made them to be. Excellence is not an outcome. Excellence is a decision. Mm-hmm. It's a mindset. It's a commitment to bring the best of our energies and skills and character to the work before us. I chose these images because President John F. Kennedy captured this very well when he said, we choose to go to the moon and do the other things in this decade, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Excellence is the willingness to pursue what demands the best within us, because the best within us was placed there by God. Virtue without excellence fades. Courage without discipline becomes recklessness. Ingenuity without excellence becomes sloppy. Honor without excellence is forgotten. Excellence is what makes virtue durable and freedom possible. Well, we have a course model, and that's great. And I love the course model, but my speaker notes are gone.
But you know what the course model is.
Yes, you do. I do know what it is. Just one quick second. So you're gonna have to. Why are my speaker notes gone?
It's okay.
Hang on a second.
Because they're too good to be true.
No, I know. Exactly. We gotta. Where did they go?
Everything, by the way, all of what we're talking about is available in our curriculum catalog. And it's very large.
It is, yes, but we priced it. We don't make money on the catalog, guys.
No.
In fact, you can just probably email me and we'll do what we can to get you one.
We'll just PDF it to you.
Yeah, and that's we'll just PDF it to you. You can get it on Amazon in the America Begins at Home library. You can get it on. We've got a couple of other places where it's sold, like Ingram's Park.
But it's literally priced at cost.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
Yeah, but at the same time, I need you to know what's in it. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the. Oh, I know why the speaker notes aren't in it, because I don't know why the speaker notes aren't in it. To be completely honest, I think Google messed up again. It's always Google, right?
It's okay.
No.
Just keep
Okay.
going.
So excellence, though. So
We live by
Yes.
the seat of our pants, but this is excellence because
absolutely.
we are doing our best here.
Absolutely. So here we go. So our course model is actually broken up into a couple of sections. First of all, is an 18-week course model. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, let me take one step back. Every national hero has a course that they teach.
Yes.
Okay. So we have our every national hero has a course that they teach, and we have our own foundational courses. Would you show the full picture for us, please, sweetheart?
Yes, I can.
The big one? Okay. So we have the American Foundations courses, all right? So this America Foundation courses are three main sections. The first section is our American reading courses, and we are so we have American reading, American math, and American history courses. Those are the foundation ones, okay? Those are the things that are offered in our micro schools. We'll get into that in a little bit. If you got a micro school in your local area, you can be a student and go to a course or go to a local.
Attend your local micro school.
Attend your local micro school. Thank you. That's just a much better way of saying it. So our American Education Foundations is a unified system of first principles, reading, mathematics, and history, taught the way America's heroes learned, built, calculated, wrote, invented, explored, and solved. So these courses form the bedrock of all future learning. Yet they are not bound by the grammar, logic, and rhetoric stages. I'll tell you about that in a minute. They are designed for any student at any age who needs a true foundation, clear instruction, mastery-based practice, and heroic inspiration rooted in American virtue. So whether you're just beginning, whether you're a teenager, or you need to relearn some things, our foundation courses are fantastic. So one of the things we want to bring out as well is we are a 5C school, and so that means that we are also classical. So the way that we do all of our courses is a grammar, logic, and rhetoric stage. And so grammar, logic, and rhetoric is not always a age base, and it's not always a grade level base. And so it just depends on kind of what you know and how you're at it. But grammar essentially is primary school, elementary school. And logic is essentially middle school, kind of. It's kind of fuzzy on the ends there. And then rhetoric is generally high school. But realistically, the way that it works is grammar is what? I'm not going to ask a 5-year-old, how does the sun work if the 5-year-old doesn't know that the sun is yellow, right? Grammar is what? And then and we use the grammar stage. We use rhymes and sounds and things to help us understand the world around us. What? Then logic is basically what things fit together. How do things fit together, right? And then the rhetoric stage is why. And so there's a lot of independent learning in the rhetoric stage. There's a lot of writing. There's a lot of creation in the rhetoric stage. There's creation kind of all over everything, but the rhetoric stage is a lot of public speaking. Is a lot of debate and argument. It's a lot of a deeper exploration of why. The logic stage is really where independence begins. So our American Foundation courses, we do have proprietary tracks that we've developed some really, really cool math, reading, and history courses. I'll tell you about history first. In our history course, our History Foundations course, we actually start with America's history. Now, this is where my classical people are kind of like, wait a minute, and that's okay. We'll just call me. We'll have a discussion. But we actually start with our America's history, and I know it's kind of in the middle. However, one of the things I really love about it is it allows us to see America's 250 years, right? And so at the end, we're looking for our students to know all of the 250 heroes, but just a little bit about them, just enough about them for them to explore who these people are in a variety of different ways. The variety of people that have made our nation great for 250 years. Then, of course, we get into a variety of different history courses. from Thomas Aquinas to Greek to a whole bunch of other really fun stuff. So that's the history course, and it is a blast. It's absolutely a blast. All of our courses are 18-week structures. So it's 18 weeks. It assumes 3 academy days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is usually kind of what I don't want to say recommend, but that's kind of like what it's built on. You can do it any way you want, but it's homeschool. It's supplemental curriculum and it's homeschool curriculum, but we assume 3 academy days. And then we also assume at least 1, if not 2, road school days. And these are opportunities on whether it's a Friday or a Monday or even over the weekend where you're going to take your family, you're going to gather your family, you're going to go experience some of that education somewhere in something, right? Once a week. We assume in the courses, although in the membership, when you get the membership, we give you the Roadschool Experiences that are associated to your course. The Roadschool Experiences are associated to the whole family, right? Regardless of how many courses you're taking, right? But the recommended experiences are associated to the course that you're taking, right? To the course you signed up for, whether it's 1 or 5 courses. And they're associated to what's near you, right? And there's different levels, as you saw that. There's different levels that you can do, whether you're going to spend, whether you're going to spend a couple of hours at the nearby local monument or you're going to spend a week at Williamsburg, right? Road school experiences differ drastically, and whether we bring our docent in front of you and walk you through the journey, or mom brings you along with a checklist of things that you need to things that you're looking for. We have a variety of different types of experiences, and so therefore we run the gamut of a whole bunch of different things. Okay, so that's history. Math. Did you want to say something, sweetheart?
No, sorry, okay. You're good.
She's just beautiful sitting there. She's very distracting, guys.
Whatever.
Very, very distracting.
No, but I'm sorry. Did you go over the 3-day academy structure?
Yeah, so we do have 3 academy days. We assume 3 academy days.
Yes.
And
so that you have those weekends open for exploring and road schooling.
Yes. Road schooling is a real huge part of it. One of the first things that we actually kind of want to talk about with the course structure is is actually the first 3 days and the identity portion of
each lesson.
Mm-hmm. You want to go over
Sorry, each course, not lesson.
So week 1, we actually go through 3 different. Your first 3 courses are the same from. Your week 1 is the same no matter what course it is. Your first lesson is in hero. So you're learning who that hero is. So I'm going to flip over into one of our hero courses, and this will make a little bit more sense. So let's do. There's so many fun ones. I'm like, no. We've got some artists in here. Let's do. Thomas Edison. This is a good one. So Thomas Edison teaches a hero course, his own hero course, but he also teaches one of our foundation courses. So you'll recognize
double dipping, which is fun.
Yeah,
because he's a great person.
This is course B108. So this is Thomas Edison School of Practical Invention, Persistence, and Creative Problem Solving. So in that course, day 1, you're learning who is Thomas Edison. Okay. Day 2, which is the same for all of them. Day 1, 2, and 3 are the same, no matter who you're studying. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, Alan Shepard, Jonathan Edwards, Henry Knox, Nathan Hale, Tecumseh, William J. Donovan. It's just 250 of them, guys.
Let's go through all of them right now.
Yeah, you got to go through them right now. Day 1 is you learn who the person is. What did they do? Why are they interesting? What effect did they have on their individual?
What are they being remembered for?
Thank you. Day 2 is what is my relationship to them? So we take family history. Excuse me. We take you through how to build your family history, and we connect you directly to who they are. Right. So we connect your family history to them, so that you can say, this person is my great-grandcousin. This is my great-grandfather. So at the beginning of the course, you can say, my great-grandfather, my great-grandcousin, my great-so-and-so is trying to help me understand something, right? Like I can achieve what they achieved. Something really magical happens, especially for young ones, like the young ones. So before I get to that, it's actually also in our Book of American Virtues.
Do you want me to hold that one up?
So at the beginning, say again?
Do you want me to hold that one up?
Yeah, please, go ahead. At the beginning of each of our virtues, at the top page, it says our, right? I don't know
It's gonna be hard to see.
But it's hard to see.
It's there.
But you can see that it says our. In the back of the book, thank you very much. In the back of the book, there's this whole 250 list section. So you go through, and they have their family history ID.
It's kind of hard to
So
see.
you go and you find your relationship to them. And don't worry, we make it actually quite easy. You don't have to do this 250 times. We actually make it quite easy. There's a group on relativefinder.org that we've created called the National Garden Group. And the book gives you the code to get in and all that other stuff. You get in, and it tallies for you what your relationship actually is to them, what your relation is to them. This is extremely important because when you first sit down and do your devotional for the morning, and you do the devotional just like I did, you're going to start with Audie Murphy, our great-grand cousin, our,
Fourth great grandnephew.
fourth great grandnephew 7 times removed,
Is that
or
a
whatever.
thing?
You're going to find out what your relationship is to them, and then you're going to say, this person had grit. Mm-hmm. This person had courage. And his courage is like mine. I've got courage too. I've got grit too. Virtues are decisions. They're inherited. They're inherited divine blessings.
I'm just gonna start showing off pages.
You can showing up pages there. I don't know if you can see them, but
just in case.
They're super awesome. So once you've learned that you can relate to somebody through their acts of virtue, then when they teach you a course and they say, "Oh, Thomas Edison, I already knew this person is already an example of persistence and perseverance. Wow, I have that too. I'm already relating to them. Now I'm going to learn from them the specific things that will help me to tap into the excellence God gave me," right? Identity becomes deep, right? And persistence and perseverance and education becomes enlightenment rather than entertainment, right? And so our first lesson is always who the hero is. The second lesson is always, what is your relationship to them? And then the third lesson is course overview. What do you expect to get out of this? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to learn? And then weeks 2 through 17.
15.
No, it's 17 because the
Okay.
Yeah. So weeks 2 through 17 are full of the content, right? They're the core content. They're the core coursework. And you're just burning. You're burning through it. We've got some samples, but we didn't put. Did I put?
I didn't see it on
I
there.
put them in the slide.
Nope.
Did I put them in the slide?
Nope. It's okay.
Nope. All right. So, all right. Well, all right. Samples. Email me. I'll send you some samples. So you burn through and it's awesome stuff. But you're consistently there's a review at the bottom of each lesson. There's a moment for review. They assume, like we have in our foundations, in our reading foundations, they assume that you're writing. So they assume that you're learning cursive. They assume that there's a reflection moment at the end of every one of them that is asking you, how are you developing your virtues? So the content is intended for you to develop your excellence. The reflection area is there to help you develop your virtue, and your connection is there to help you develop your identity. So again, identity, virtue, and excellence. They're just all over it. So our American Education Foundation, now I know this slide's getting a bit long, but I'm really excited to share this with you. Our American Education Foundations, our math is amazing because Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, Edwin Hubble, Katherine Johnson, and Maria Mitchell walk you through our American Math Foundations.
And they're awesome.
Yes, they are. Let me flip through it. Let me get there too. Hang on a second. We go through the Ford School of Arithmetic and Assembly Line Mastery. So this is rote math. This is good foundations of fluency, speed, and congruence. Of foundations. So this is your times tables. You got to know your tables. You got to know your stuff. And I totally get. We're going to get into some really nerdy pedagogy of why you learn what you learn. I think core curriculum kind of failed us with the whole visualization of large numbers, but when it gets too big, it just kind of falls apart. So you don't really understand like what's going on. But rote math on its own doesn't help you understand, stops when it gets to certain columns. It doesn't help you understand really what you're calculating. So we start with rote math, so we can learn our tables, we can learn our basic arithmetic. But then we expand that into the Edison Carnegie School of Applied Thinking and Real Life Math. This is word problems. Okay.
They can be scary, but we figured it out.
We cracked a code. And so there's a lot of stuff. All this stuff in here is proprietary really to the way that we teach it. Really to the way that we learned it. And it comes from actually years of development. My family I come from a line of educators that particularly teaches math. And so math is really a lot of fun. And we can and there's a certain way to learn it kind of properly. So word problems, we developed our own word problem device.
Mnemonic?
It is a mnemonic device. It is a mnemonic device, but but we use a mnemonic device to help develop word problems. And so there's a certain way that we develop word problems. And so our kids love it, and it works out really, really well. You probably just spit it out, huh?
But can't give you all of our trade secrets.
Can't give you everything, but I will give you some samples of some things, right? But the Edison Carnegie, and the thing about it is Thomas Edison and Andrew Carnegie walk you through some of those things. Thomas Edison actually teaches our word problem deconstruction device, and that is great because it goes right along with what Thomas Edison does with electricity. We call it spark. I'll give you that much. Okay, SPARK. So he teaches the word problem.
Spark your imagination device. On that one. Just
spark. Measurement, division, and geometry. And then Tesla walks us through a multiplication, squaring. So Tesla, Einstein School of Patterns, Logic, and Beautiful Numbers. This is where you get into how number systems and how numbers fall together. This is God's design, and God's design is amazing, and how numbers collapse or combine together when you're multiplying and when you're dividing. We're combining the numbers in any way when you're calculating numbers. And so multiplication, squaring, estimation, big number, insight. This is the ability to calculate long sets of numbers together very efficiently. And so there's some methods that are really awesome that we've incorporated in our own way as well. Then we get into the Katherine Johnson School of Accuracy and Applied Calculation. So this is precision, multi-step reasoning, real-world application stuff as well. So I'm really excited about American math. It's one of our absolute favorites. Our reading is way too much fun. You guys are gonna have way too much fun with our American reading foundations because we start with Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss School of Phonograms and Rhyme. This is sound mastery, early fluency, and joyful decoding. Yeah. What's up?
I was going to say, and yes, he is on the list.
Yes, Dr. Seuss, Theodore Seuss Geisel is a 250 hero. So all of these are heroes, guys. Yep. Dr. Seuss is a national hero.
I love it,
it's
though.
Awesome.
It's so much fun.
It is so fun for homeschool families that are just, we have a blast.
It feels very unit study-y. Ish, and anyway, it's a lot of fun.
I used to think it was unit study but as we really kind of developed it and got into it, it's really its own thing. It's really
that's
identity
true.
Learning.
That is true. It's different in its own way, but it feels like you're going down this one path for one American hero,
right?
And you're learning all the different things you can from that one particular hero. So it feels like a unit study in that way, but it's so vastly different than the normal unit studies you're used to. It's not a beast. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we do. It's really kind of a new way. It's a very interesting way of learning. There was a lot of pedagogy around a lot of different types of curriculum, and so when we say unit study, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to learn English, math, science, and history all the same thing, and it's like, no,
not quite doing that.
Not doing that. It's more like Dr. Seuss is teaching you the.
He's becoming your teacher for that.
Right.
That
for phonograms.
Season.
Right, so he teaches you phonograms, which makes a lot of sense. But so we're learning phonogram-based sound mastery, early fluency, and joyful decoding. So that's fantastic. Then we get into the Douglas School of Spelling and Syllables. So this is spelling, accuracy, rules, literacy is freedom. this is just really awesome because Frederick Douglass learned to read through the wall of the master's house, right? So he learned to read because he knew that literacy would give him his freedom, and it did. And so when our children are stuck on spelling, or they're stuck on the rules that don't make sense, the I before E's, except after C, except in every other circumstance. Right. Einstein would be wrong twice on his own name. Like, you do have to learn the rules, but you hit a lot of you have a lot of difficulty, and to get over that difficulty, a lot of times we fall to entertainment rather than enlightenment. And so we fall to saying, well, it's still fun. Let me come up with a new device. Let me come up with a new way, as opposed to saying, yeah, but you have grit, you have hard work, you have perseverance. You can do it. Frederick Douglass did it, and you can do it too. And oh, by the way, you're related to him in one way or another, right? And so it's really a unique way of combining it all together. It's a very unique way of learning, and it's not. You're not asking an AI agent to just, and you're not sitting there in front of another screen telling, it's a book, right? It's all hard copy. Yeah. It's a book, right? It's real, and you're practicing your own cursive. You are writing. It's not on the go. It's focused work. It's enlightenment. You're sitting down. You, God, and the book, right? And so that's the Douglass School of Spelling and Syllables. Then we get into the Longfellow School of Poetry and Reading Fluency. Those of some of you got our recent newsletter that had the Henry Wadsworth Longfellow virtue devotional in it, and that's one of my favorites. All of them are really my favorite, but that one in particular I spent a little bit extra time on to go through I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day poem, and it became the carol. So I'm going to leave you. So those that got the email or that got the newsletter got the free PDF, and those that didn't, well, you're going to have to subscribe. So just email me.
Subscribe, and we will backtrack it.
Yeah, you're going to have to subscribe, and I'll give you the thing. Then we get into the Wilder. So Laura Ingalls Wilder. Here we go. School of Stories and Early Composition. So this is copywork, narration, descriptive writing, early writing, etc. This is a lot of fun. We did a massive unit study with this with our girls. Mm-hmm. Grammy did it, and so we pulled a lot of stuff out of that into here, which is just, again, it's 18 weeks, but you're learning from the greats, and you're learning from their writings. So you're not, what you're not doing is learning writing and composition and then reading a book. The voice of the author is speaking to you, kind of, and then you're using the samples would be good. You're using their quotes, their segments. So it's kind of like unit study where you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna pick up the what they're doing, right? So there's pieces in there and it's coming out. However, it's actually much more refined. So then, and I told you all that to tell you this. The Melville School of Latin Roots, Vocabulary, and Symbolic Thinking. This is where it gets a lot of fun.
Well, yes, it's Latin and Greek, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it's Latin and Greek. So we still have Latin and Greek roots here. So Latin and Greek roots, advanced vocabulary, comprehension depth, and early symbolism. This is one of the ones we added recently because we realized that we didn't do the roots, and we're like, how did we not do roots? Let's go back. And so one of our teachers, actually, who was writing for us, reminded us that we weren't doing roots, and we said, oh my gosh, we're doing roots. So our roots determine our routes. And so we realized that, I know, we have way too much fun with these symbols. Symbols, Melville. And so Moby Dick, Herman Melville, deep symbolism here. And he's actually the one that we have on our sample that I don't have in front of me. So anyway, the foundational courses are fantastic. They're phenomenal. The other thing about what we do on the hero courses, again, the hero courses are in the book. in our course catalog.
It's like
This
more than half of the book.
Is the hero courses. These are the foundation courses, right? So I don't know if you can see that. There it is, yeah. Foundation courses, hero courses, pedagogy, right? So the hero courses are 18-week long, from Ansel Adams to Norman Rockwell. Those are in some artists: Milton Friedman, Paul Revere. Have you ever heard Paul Revere and Milton Friedman in the same sentence? I mean, that's just awesome. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Samuel Gompers, Bernardo del Galvez. You ever been to Galveston, Texas? There you go. Rosa Parks, Sojourner Truth, Thomas Edison, Samuel Adams, John Jay. We could just go through. They're so much fun. But anyway, they all teach their own particular course that is associated to them 18 weeks. And so that's kind of how the hero course structure works. At the end of every course, I'm sorry, I keep wanting to pass it over to Jen because she's got something to say. It's okay. One more thing. At the last 2 weeks of the course, so 6 lessons help the student to create a capstone. So every one of our courses develops a capstone. Whether you're grammar, logic, or rhetoric stage, you're developing some type of a capstone. Something to develop, something to create, something to show, something to say. This is what I've learned, and this is why I love it. So, sweetheart.
Yes. Let me see the book for a second.
My fingers are in my places. You want to hold them?
I will hold them. As long as I can hold your fingers too. Okay. In order to order your curriculum, you will need to open the PDF, because that is where the curriculum... I dropped something. It's okay.
Oh, you're talking about the order form?
Yes, the order form. Because that is where the ID number is. It's listed at the top of each hero, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So in order to know what course you're going to be ordering, that is where you will find them.
Thank you very much. Yes, each course has a course number. So the way that we've structured the courses, we've structured them like a Becca. And maybe we can't say that word, but what that is each course, it's intended for mom, and it's intended for the homeschool mother. And the way it works is each course has one teacher manual, but several different types of student manuals. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have according to where your child is in
their level.
In their level, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a grammar, logic, or rhetoric book. Workbook for student workbooks. So you have a grammar, logic, or rhetoric student workbook. And so this is intended for the family to learn together. So the first 5 minutes of each course has a teacher establishment beginning, and that goes through what we're learning today, kind of the big idea, general breakdown, and then you break out for 30 to 45 minutes or more, right, just depending on the level. Grammar is 30 minutes being with the teacher, with mom. And there's sing-song there. There's, it's grammar stage, right? Grammar stage kind of stuff. And then logic is less mom. It has more independent study. And it's really kind of there's a lot of reading.
That one's closer to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Roughly. Yeah. And of course, you can always tailor this to your family's needs.
Right.
You do not have to follow our complete structure. It is set, like we said, as a 3-day schedule for 18 weeks. Mm-hmm. And you can make those 3 days longer or shorter, or however you want to structure it.
Right. The platform of stuff that we have are kind of designed like that. And then the rhetoric is pretty independent. It mm-hmm. may or may not even need mom to share at the beginning, but at the beginning of every course, there's a little bit of identity there. So
it's always good for the mom to kind of connect with it anyway. So, in my own opinion, education
stems from the family.
Yeah.
So the Matrix of Liberty, we didn't jump into it too much on this particular call, but the Matrix of Liberty, in order for us to have liberty, education has to come from the family. Mm-hmm. We don't have liberty if education doesn't come from the family. But we've already vetted this out through 250 years of being a nation, plus 200 years before of being a series of colonies. So, 200 is 100. Not 200 years quite, but anyways,
Well, it's been 250 years since the beginning of...
Yeah, exactly. 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. We all get it. Numbers are fine. Anyways, so education needs to come from the family. And so we've structured it like that. It's a supplemental homeschool curriculum. So you can adjust it to your needs and your family makeup and all that other stuff. So we've broken it out. We've broken out the teacher workbook from the student workbook. And this allows you to only get the workbooks that you need. Mm-hmm. If you have like we said, if you are a family that's like, hey, look, just give me the stuff, give me the guidance, give me the teacher, and we'll follow along. Great, those packages are already set for you. We'll give them to you in kits. But if you're like a prime family that's like, look, I've got some kids that are like ready for college, and I have some kids that are ready for grammar school, they're all over the place, and I need to cobble it together. I need to put my own things together and kind of do my own thing. Again, we are committed to our 5 C's, and that cost affordable. It gives us the ability to give you the line item control that you need to kind of get through everything. So those that are, hey, lead me, guide me, and I will follow it. We have that for you. And those that are, let me do it. I already know what I'm doing. That ain't my first rodeo. That's great. And we're ready to walk alongside you there. So
well, and I will mention one more thing. I don't think you mentioned it, but so we have the parent or teacher manual, right? Mm-hmm. And that holds the grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Then we have the student manuals. That's basically just their worksheets, so you can go through and keep those for records or toss it when you're done. It's entirely up to you. But then we also have our testing notebooks.
That's right.
So we have quizzes and tests in there, and that's, again, optional to your family. It's periodic quizzes and then tests, because I know that there are a lot of states that have required testing. So these just help to make sure that you're solidified in not just the education, but you're solidifying the virtues as well. So these tests are helping to make sure that you understand the information and how it applies to you, going along with everything we've already been saying. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm glad you brought that up, because we did design it with that in it, and it's really designed for families that are across all 50 states. So a lot of them will require a lot of states will require some type of milestone tracking, and so a lot of our families really like the ability to pull it out as a book. Go, here it is. Here's the stuff, and here's the progress. And progress is not the same as achievement, and so we put our testing manuals in there to track progress. Not necessarily achievement. We have a whole grade pedagogy that we'll kind of get into on another set, but that's all contained in the curriculum catalog, and so you can kind of take a look at how that works. But yes, our testing manuals are there to track progress. But some people don't need that, so that's why it's separated. It's not in the workbook. Yep. And so those are optional as well.
Well, and then as well, if you're needing it for your state, that way the tests are separate, and you can hold off on those and then throw away the workbooks if you want or whatever. Yeah. And I don't think we've said this before, but I will state, we fully believe that all school is supplemental.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's entirely clear. So we are only supplemental here.
Yes, exactly. So the part of the pedagogy here is that you don't graduate from our school, right? We do have micro schools. That's kind of a different thing, but but school is your homeschool is yours, and it's between you and God, and you're reaching to your calling. The education here is something that you should always be learning. Education is eternal. Information is not here just to prepare you for a job. The education here, which is amazing, it's here to help you prepare for a calling, and only you can decide what that is. You and your children together decide what calling is the right fit for you, and sometimes it's more than one. There is no test. I don't know if you're waiting for that. I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm here to tell you what the options are, and so this is one of the big reasons why we go well beyond STEM. And STEM only sits in the builders section, which is fantastic. Engineering and science, technology and engineering and math and all sorts of
Lots
stuff.
of
But we also
engineering.
add in there agriculture. We add in there the trades. We add in there so many other things. Some of our parents are like, well, how do I know when I'm done with all of your courses? And I'm like, well, I hope you're never done with them. That would be,
That's a lot of work.
yeah, and it would be a lot of wasted time, because you're learning something that may not be applicable to you. And so one of the things that we've tried to really engineer around, and it really makes us much more free to offer more wonderful things, is to be able to say, in our foundation courses, I forgot to mention this, your math prepares you for algebra. And at that point, you can say, okay, well, if I'm a writer and Mark Twain is really speaking to me and I really want to spend the rest of my life as a writer, I don't need to learn trigonometry. I don't need to learn calculus.
But you don't have to.
You can, of course. You shouldn't be forced to. You only get 60,000 hours of their education time. And so time spent learning high math, when somebody feels the pull to be a writer or an artist, is time taken away being a better writer or artist, and we want to help you develop those things. And so there's no we want to help you develop into that calling and develop those standards of excellence into that calling, and that doesn't always come across when we're prescribing too much too early. And so we want a graduate for us as somebody who knows what their calling is and has built proficiency and has built excellence inside of that calling. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. There we go.
God is good. I want to say that God is good.
Absolutely.
And
I'm going to back up a couple steps here because I forgot. We mentioned something earlier.
All right.
We're talking at this point, guys. We're talking. So let's go through something. Okay. Why families must lead. Jen did a fantastic job with this. I want to open up something. When you're first, we have your courses that you get, and you have your first 3 days of your courses. But one of the first things that you do as you are an enrolled family is that you get your Our Family Under God compact. And this is where you gather the family around. Families across the nation are already embodying this Our Family Under God compact. It's handmade. It is, you get a wonderful stamp in there. Are you looking for those things?
Yeah, I was going to try. Oh, they're over there.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm going to let you take over.
Let me show you.
You're better with the buttons.
They are, so we use special paper. I ink it. There it is right there. So you get one for your family, and you have an opportunity to make a special seal. Let's show you this one right here.
This is a custom-made screen printing, by the way.
Yep. So it's a custom.
Yeah. All this paper is handmade locally, mm-hmm. and all of these stamps are handmade by your family alone,
right.
And none of them look the same.
Right. So what's amazing about... there it is.
It was there. Disappeared.
There are two. There you go. What is amazing about these seals? Hello. These buttons are
We are on our A game here. Oh my.
There it is. It's the buttons that come in.
You sure?
So what's amazing about these is these
the
your family gets this seal kit. And in this seal kit, you get a wax seal. Hello. Oh my goodness, I should go through this. I got this hold up in a certain way, and it's doing amazing.
It doesn't like you right now.
So your family gets an Our Family Under God compact. Compact is very special. It's very impactful. It's very important. We already have families in 6 states making seals and compacts. Each of the seals symbol of your individual family made under God in the moment, for the moment that God has put you on the earth. And each of the seals are unique. And so you'll get a what are the colors, you'll get a and then you'll get a handed compact. The compact is the thing that is, the verbiage is the same. But as you can see, Jen writing in there, a space that this, and we prompt it continually to, and then
you add on family mantras and promises.
Family mantras and promises in there as well. So really tender things that can happen, like very personal, very private, and very, very often. But what the seals do, and this is a little bit different, because there's lots of things that can make function. They make one or two themselves, but then they will send the rest of their seals in, and will pass those seals to new families, that to new micro school or road school families. So what? There it is.
See if we can get back to faces here.
See if we can get back to faces. Maybe not.
Oh, good. I was starting to lose hope.
You have there's the homeschool days, the 18-week stuff, but then we send you, as soon as you enroll, before your coursework shows up, you get the family compact that you can do all that you would like with it. All the wonderful things that you would like to do with your family compact is an opportunity for you to gather your family, unite your family, unite them around very similar, unite them around the same promise that we have across the nation. Really unite around the same principles. We use our compact a lot. We take our compact down about once a year, and then we add to it when new things come around and new things become important to us. And we have some families that are already, their kids are already fighting over who's gonna get the compact when they get, when they graduate and move on and add new family members to it and all that other stuff. So it's a blast. We really just we have a lot of fun in our families. Our road school families have a lot of fun. So again, identity before occupation and calling before career. Why we cannot wait. We can't. Excellence is in you, and excellence, the world needs American excellence. And excellence comes from the home. Excellence is stewardship. Excellence begins with identity. There's a course model. Okay.
All that to say.
Ready to begin? Here we go. All right. So now that you've seen the pricing paths, here's how we can begin. So I'm going to walk through the enrollment form, so that by the end of the call, the end of the video, your family is officially enrolled in Roadschool America. So step one, open the order form. That should be in the description below or in the chat. It's definitely in the chat. Open the order form and start building your package as we move through the curriculum. So if you're a premium or a foundation family, just email me, premium or foundation, and send me your phone number. That whole packaging structure is kind of different, but again, that ranges from 7-day excursions at Williamsburg all the way to, hey, give me the teacher, and we give you a lot of teacher time on those foundation times. But on the order form for our prime families, which is the bulk of our families, this is kind of how it works. So the top line is, think of your family makeup. Our Roadschool experiences are tailored to the curriculum of the students, but we assume you bring the whole family, so choose your family size. Okay, 6 and over are the second line down, right? If you have less than 6 in your family, you have a choice of whether you want to go semi-annual or you want to go annual. So the next part is the next thing is the courses. So we'll come back to that in a second, but we offer tutoring or real homeschool assistance. Okay, so the tutoring is our teachers. I cannot say enough about our teachers. These teachers are amazing people. They're like Miss Frizzle or Mary Poppins, or these are just the quintessential people who love education, who love our nation, who love families, and who will love your children. They always do. This time is bought in blocks, but is used really for any reason that you want. Okay, we found that homeschool families often need more than a subject-specific tutor that they kind of have to manage and worry about homework. Oftentimes they need an assistant really for mommy. A few kids, if you got a few kids and you've only got so many hands, you started your stuff, but now you need somebody to kind of help you out with some things. So once you're onboarded here, if that's what you choose, if that's what you need, then our teachers go through your needs, like how you want to use that time block set. So get a time block set. I would highly recommend, no matter how much you're getting, no matter what school parts you're getting, get a time block set with one of our teachers. They're amazing. Just check one of the boxes and send it back to me, and we'll go ahead and get you the teachers. They will determine how you're going to use that bank of hours, whether they're subject or otherwise. All of our teachers are a Mary Poppins, a Miss Frizzle, just really, really, really great stuff. Some have even written for some well-known homeschool curriculums, and they write for us now, and they're amazing. So the subject's in the middle. Here we go. So we structure it, like I said, we structure it like a Becca. We've already talked about that. It's designed really for the whole family homeschool setting. So what you'll do is you'll get you'll take a look at the curriculum catalog. You'll find out what courses you want, whether some of the foundational courses are math, history, or reading foundations courses. Those are already titled. We start with math. We start everybody at the beginning, and we allow you to blaze through them with reading. We can kind of start you where you need some strength, or where you need some picking up, and then all of our other hero courses give us the number of the course number. You'll need at least one teacher manual, and then let me know how many workbook manuals you'll need and whether or not you need a testing manual. So I really want you to feel completely confident here. So no pressure, no confusion. This is simply clarity, freedom, and God-led direction for your family. So yeah.
Once you know where you fit, just begin.
Yep.
Send it to us and we'll get you going.
Absolutely. So as we close today, I want to remind you of something simple and powerful. God makes families. Families make nations. Families have made America great again and again and again. For many of us, this moment represents coming back to what matters most: faith, family, identity, virtue, and excellence, and the heritage God entrusted to this nation. What you're stepping into with Roadschool America is not just education. It is restoration. It's discipleship. It's national renewal through the family. When families learn together, they aren't just studying America's past, they're rebuilding her future. One virtue, one child, one family, 1 mile at a time. And Scripture tells us, Scripture tells a lot of things, but I lost my scripture there. Train them up. Thank you for spending time with us.
In the way that they should go. Right? Train them up in the way that they should go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry.
No, you got it. Thank you for choosing to invest in your children's identity and calling. And thank you for being part of a movement that is rebuilding America through the family. From our family to your family. Welcome home, America.
May God bless you.
May God bless America.
And may God bless this American family.
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you. Let me show you
Welcome home.
How to button this way out. Okay.